Well, I'm going to produce a friend of yours that will vouch for me in this because he was there. Mr. Scott D'Amore. I'm sure you're aware of him.
Tuggles the clown, yes.
Scott D'Amore and I were in an airport lounge when I came up with the idea. And I sketched it out on a cocktail napkin at the Delta Lounge at the Nashville airport. And Scott was there.
Okay.
Wait. And there's one thing. Now, I think where the confusion comes in. No. Where the confusion comes in. And this is not actually Glenn's fault. Glenn's made comments about me having concussions and not worried and not remembering stuff. And I can understand why, you've made claims you've never been hurt in the business. The style you worked, of course, you would never get hurt. You would never be concussed. So you probably have a very good memory, and I'm going to give you that. I think where the confusion comes in, frankly, Conan and Disco, is that Glenn had a parallel idea. And the idea was to have the wrestlers swinging from vines, like Tarzan, to try to get the belt. And that was his idea. My idea was, because I realized that was ridiculous, was the actual Ultimate X. So I think he's conflating the two, perhaps. It could be an honest mistake,
Right. I just think
inaccurate, dishonest. That's a flat out lie.
Well, the guy came on here to apologize, and you're already burying him, and that's the reason.
No. You know what? Disco's right. I did say I would apologize, and so maybe I should have led with that.
Before you apologize. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize, but specifically, I mean, I want him to apologize for that, okay? And I want him to apologize for all the other falsehoods, and I want him to apologize. We don't even just the repeated falsehoods that you say.
Such as about you. What did I say about you that was wrong? I said you were a stooge, and I said you had stupid booking ideas. Most people would agree with both of those things.
Most people would not agree. I think you've been very inaccurate on your stuff about Mulvania, whatever it is.
Oh, now you're questioning that. I guess I'm not really the commentator of New Japan either then, I guess, right?
I mean, why would I believe that too?
He's trying to
even believe that.
And you know what? He's trying to be funny by mispronouncing Mulvania, all right? So just a little bit of respect for your lordship. Because
I was talking about Moldavia, actually. It's my French accent that I have. And by the way, you know how you can figure out, Glenn, whether the New Japan thing is real or not? You can actually jump off your wallet. You can get into your tip jar. You can find some $10 a month and you can subscribe instead of pirating New Japan matches. And you can actually sit back like a mark and watch me make money and me work for the #1 wrestling promotion in the world. That's how you can confirm that. Now, I don't want to get hot. I came on here to apologize. And I probably should have led with that. We got a lot of water under the bridge here. So what I'm going to say is I want to say to Glenn, to Disco, however you want to be referred to, I want to say I'm very sorry. I'm incredibly sorry. I'm sorry that you're so thin-skinned and such a mark for yourself that you actually get upset when people call you on your BS. And I hope as a New Year's resolution, you try to be less of a mark and you try not to take yourself so seriously. And I'm sorry also that you're hanging your entire life's work on a match that you pitched with Tarzan vines swinging to get a belt in a company that was working in front of 300 people. I'm sorry about all of that. That's my apology.
That's a good apology.
I think it's very inclusive.
It's completely unacceptable. It's not an apology.
Sure it is. I said
no. It's you denigrating this and basically outing yourself as kind of I don't want to. You're basically being like a horse's ass.
Bro, I can't
you come on this show.
Okay.
Here's what I can't. No. Well, let me just say this.
Go ahead.
What I can't believe is that you're talking to your lordship like that, and this guy in Battle Creek, Michigan, they want to do like a cornflake after him. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, they want to do a candy bar to go with the insanely popular Cyrus Taffy in Paraguay. They can't even keep that in stock, by the way. I know that the country of Cyprus is thinking of renaming itself Cyrus. Okay. And I know your humbleness won't permit you to say these things. So I'll say it for you.
I don't like to put myself over. We all know that.
Yes. And bro, the granddad invented the bong, the Etch-a-Sketch, and the Easy Bake Oven. So you got old money. You know what I'm saying? And
I would never question you, man. I would never question you.
I accept your apology on DI's behalf.
It wasn't an apologize. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to apologize for any content I get in the future of New Japan, getting it straight off YouTube. Because to be honest, the fact that they would be charging $10 a month for commentary for matches from guys that don't even speak English and having you commentate them, frankly, they're really not even worth 10 cents in my opinion.
You should probably listen to me. You might learn something about the business, kid. I mean, well,
you can go on SportsIllustrated.com and read my musings and learn about the business. Read
your musings?
Yes.
He had an article on SportsIllustrated.com.
Who wrote it for him?
No, I wrote it. It's SportsIllustrated.com.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, actually, the guy
don't seem very articulate. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
and I don't mean that to be disrespectful.
It's actually up for an award this year. So.
It's too bad because I was always a big Disco Inferno fan. I actually remember.
Then why would you come on? Why were you just saying that you never remember me being in TNA?
Well, let me finish, because what I noticed about you in WCW is you were super over when you first debuted, and then the more you're on TV, the less over you got. So by the time I saw you in TNA, you weren't really someone I would notice. I mean, I would come in, I would do my stuff. I worked on top. I was the top heel. I beat Eric Watts. The only guy to never do a job on the way out of the company, left on top, because that's what I could do. So I don't really remember interacting.
That Eric Watts match should still talk to you.
It's a classic
to this day. Yeah,
he's better than the father for sure. Yeah. Much better. Much better.
And bro, and you know what I like about you? You're kind of like Tony Robbins or DDP. You're like influencers.
I like to be positive. Yeah, that's what I like to do. And just ask yourself this. I made Eric Watts look like Ricky Steamboat. What kind of match would Glenn Gilberti have with Eric Watts? Would have been an unmitigated disaster.
I wrestled for the title in TNA at one point, so I didn't, and it certainly wasn't against Eric Watts.
Who'd you wrestle? Against Jeff Jarrett?
Yes,
well, I'm sure Jeff's back was sore that night.
Well, first of all, that's the example.
Well, but I don't understand. If the guy already apologized to you, why did you
I know. He won't accept it. It's very ungracious.
Okay. Well, the apology is not accepted because the apology was not gracious. The apology actually came in the form of an insult. And the fact that you and Conan and you have kind of seemed to form this kind of like a bond. That
it's like a top talent bond. You wouldn't know.
Top talent.
Well, no, of course I'm top talent. Okay, there's
then why are you understanding what's going on?
No, because I knew it was a mistake to bring Cyrus on. I think you guys backstabbed me here. I think Cyrus is a fraudulent character on the podcast.
No. I just want to get to this. What's fraudulent? What did I say that's not correct?
Because
I said I'm a color commentator in New Japan. That's true. You can watch it on television. I said I'm a legend in many.
You can go to Sri Lanka. They still have he still has attendance records over there for motivation.
I can't even walk down the streets of Sri Lanka.
I can't find any of this.
Well, maybe you should get off the internet, and maybe get out in the real world. Maybe pick up a book. I mean, those would all be good things for you to do. You live on the internet. I mean, that's not healthy, Glenn.
I don't live on the internet. You're
constantly referencing the internet.
It's just the only place I can find anything about you.
Why are you such an agitator? I came on here to apologize. I was even nice to KG. I mean, that's not easy for me, Right. I told Conan I would only talk to the top talent, which in my view was Conan and to a lesser extent Hoovy. And he said, no, Glenn wants an apology, and you said you would. You got to be a man and do it. And I came out here and do it. I did it for you. And now you're just all over me. Just ignorant. It's just very rude, disingenuous. In fact, I'd
like to apologize on his behalf. Is that cool?
Conan, please don't. Man, that makes me uncomfortable.
I told you this is a mistake to bring him on. I told you the guy was full of BS from the get-go. I told you this would happen. I told you him and Lance are going to go back on their show and they're going to laugh at you for inviting him on the show to make fun of us.
We would actually never do that.
So this is listen. This is on you, Conan, and this is on Lance. This is on Lance, and this is on Cyrus.
Everybody
for making an embarrassment of this show and bringing on a character that's basically we're trying to work. Bro, it's just your work. You're just like You're just a work. It's a shame.
First off, the business is a work. Everything you ever did in a ring was an expose and a work. And I've been in this business again for 2 months and I'm back on top and I'm talking to Conan, who's the biggest star possibly in the history of wrestling, if you really look at it. So don't come on here and tell me, oh, I'm going to disrespect Conan, because I would never do that. And I actually think,
because that's not top guy stuff, bro.
No,
you disrespect each other.
We
you
look
don't
out for each other.
Disrespect Rey Mysterio. You don't go and disrespect, the Undertaker. There's like a mutual respect. And that's a problem Disco's having. So we you gotta kind of be empathetic. You know what I'm saying? And
you put me over for being charitable. I actually think you're the charitable one, because you're giving KG a place to work so he doesn't have to sleep in someone's van, and you're helping out Disco Inferno, because frankly, I don't know who else would put up with this. I mean, you're just rude, and you're nasty, and you're like a little backstabbing stooge. I mean, Listen, I got out of the business to get away from that.
Well, man, I'm sorry that Disco didn't accept your apology, and he thinks that you're a work, and he doesn't understand how top talent thinks. I'm sorry for all that. I hope that this isn't going to in any way affect, our working relationship between Killing the Town and Keeping It 100.
It won't. I would just like to see this so-called evidence he's got of this X Division beef, because he's right. He's right about one thing that did start this whole thing. Hey, you got evidence, come
absolutely.
On, walk the
absolutely.
walk.
Absolutely.
And frankly, if Scott D'Amore is your evidence, I think you've got challenges.
And I will say this, and then I would like to hear this. I would like Conan, you can tell him to do this, please. That once the evidence is revealed, okay, will you finally apologize sincerely for trying to discredit my good name and for lying to the people?
Okay, do anything I say at this point have any worth with you, or no, I'm kind of dead to you, D.I.?
No, I just think you're foolish.
Okay, well, I thought that was a sincere apology. Call me crazy.
Okay, well, look.
All I can say is I'm sorry for Disco's behavior. I thought KG was on point, but I'm sorry about Disco's behavior. I hope that you'll come back again, Lord Cyrus.
I would love to, and next time I'd love to talk to Shane Helms. I'm a big fan of his work, and I really, what I'd love to do is, this would be like one of my personal goals. I would love to have Hoovy and his lovely wife do a rap that was like a Cyrus rap about how over I am, and I would just cherish that.
You're gonna love this. We actually asked Hoovy on his segment about that. Okay?
Oh, really? What did he say?
He said that you had to pay him.
Wow, that's a little stiff.
That's the juice.
Someone's not getting a booking in New Japan.
Right. That's Abercrombie and juice for you.
Wow.
Yes. That's Juicy Davidson for you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, there you go. I mean, he's got about as much chance of getting to Japan as KG.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, I'd
love to jump at KG right before you leave. That's awesome.
I did get to go over there once, but as a commentator, or a ring announcer. But
no one cares. No one cares. Sorry.
Well, this has been this whole segment has been just a disaster.
I feel like it's been a walk down memory lane.
Well, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you what it felt like, because I'm speaking from the 29th show that we've done. This is arguably the worst segment we've probably had. Just a giant. Swerve, Conan and you just working an angle, trying to be funny.
Is it as bad? Is it as bad as a Disco Inferno Alex Wright tag match?
Those were actually really good.
Nothing's that bad.
Oh my god!
But let me tell you something. I thought it's probably my favorite segment. So we're basically. It's almost like when you go, bro. It's like anything else. It's like when you go to the party, right? And the guy that got laid, he's gonna have a different story than the guy that got there late and nobody was there, than the guy that got drunk, and got beat up. You know what I'm saying? So basically that's what's going on here. From his perspective, it was a bad show because he got buried, and
he buried himself. He buried himself.
Yeah.